Hi, I'm Nicole McLane from Pacific Yoga, and I'm here with Ron Millward from Balanced Veterans. We are here in the Apothecarium today, where Ilera is set to release their new medicinal marijuana blend called Om. It now has added CBD, which can assist with your yoga practice in that it helps you to calm down prior to practice, so you can find your breath, get into your body, and then move consciously from there. Obviously, the CBD will help with any of those aches and pains that might be present at the beginning of practice so that you're able to mobilize. So for today's practice, we'll be focusing on dealing with symptoms of PTSD, which can include anxiety, depression, insomnia, to name just a few. For the beginning of our practice, we'll be working primarily with a breathing technique that will allow us to drop into our parasympathetic nervous system, which gives you a sense of security, safety, and lets you know you're able to relax. From there, we'll employ the same breathing technique in some more active poses so we can start practicing how to take this new information off the mat and into your life. All right, so Ron, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready, let's do it.
Okay, so we're gonna set ourselves up for you guys at home on a cushion of some sort, right? Ron is sitting on his meditation cushion, which is gonna elevate his hips. I have a blanket folded with the rounded edge forward underneath mine to bring my hips up as high as my knees. So you're gonna wanna find yourself the proper amount of elevation so that we can find access to all of our breathing apparatus. So for some people, that might even mean sitting up on 4 or 5 blankets, or maybe even getting up on a stool or a chair. One thing you want to make sure of is that whatever you're sitting on, if you're sitting up on an elevation, that you have access to the ground, right? So if you're on a chair, make sure your feet can touch something, even if that means bringing a blanket or a towel underneath them. Now, once you find your comfortable seat, I'm going to invite you to bring your hands face down on your lap and just roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then back, and slide your shoulder blades, your scapulae, down your rib cage so that your shoulders are clear of your ears and neck. Now, your gaze can either steady forward on the floor if it's more comfortable to have your eyes open. Just make sure that gaze is soft and not rigid. If you feel safe enough to do so, you can let your eyelids softly close. Let's all relax our jaw and take a nice, full, cleansing breath in through the nose, down into the belly, rise it up into your lungs, feel it lengthen your spine, and then sigh. And let some tension go there. Feel the weight of your hands on your lap. Take a nice big breath into your belly, fill it up into your lungs, all the way up into your chest, and then sigh. Letting your navel come back to the spine, complete that exhale. And then again, inhale, fill the belly, fill the ribs, go to the top of the chest, and then sigh. Squeezing the belly back to the spine. Now continue like this. Long, slow inhalations that fill the entire canister of your torso. Soft, smooth exhalations that squeeze your navel to your spine, activating the diaphragm. Letting the rhythm start to take over, right? And maybe even letting your exhalations become a little longer than your inhalations. And like this long, slow, diaphragmatic breath allows us to clear away the stagnation in the pit of the belly. It allows us to find ourselves present in the moment we're breathing in. It allows us to feel safe and at home in our own bodies. Very good. Now we're going to shift this breath just a little bit. Whether your eyes are open or closed doesn't matter. Bring your right palm up towards your face. And we're going to fill that inhalation all the way up until we lengthen our spine and feel that breath in the crown of our head. Now as you exhale with an open mouth, sigh as if to fog up your hand like a mirror. Squeezing the belly all the way out with a long spine. Again, in through the nose. Let the breath lengthen you out. Exhale, fog up the hand like a mirror. Squeezing out the belly all the way. One more time like that. Very good. Now release that hand down. Maintain this audible whisper on the exhalation, noticing the warmth and like the viscosity of that breath on the throat as it goes out. Lightly constrict the throat, squeezing the belly out. Now this time we're going to inhale through the nose, fill up all the way, and make that same sound but out your nostrils. Good, until the belly squeezes to the spine. Now continue like this, but start to see if you can even constrict your throat a little bit on the inhalation too. So the same whispery sound comes in, sifts through all the cells of the body, and then goes out with temperature and texture to clear away any energetic debris. 2 more times like that. So this is called your Ujjayi breath. A balancing, centering breath that's going to help us stay present throughout our practice. Now, I'm going to invite everybody to blink their eyes open, steady their gaze forward. And with an inhalation, we're just going to reach our right arm out to a T with the palm face down. And then as you exhale, take your right fingertips back about 2, maybe 3 inches behind you and stretch your fingertips back toward the wall. Now notice if your shoulder crunched up towards your neck and activated your trapezius muscle. We're going to see if we can press that action down into the palm, releasing the shoulder, and then inhale to lengthen upward through the spine, active all the way to the fingertips. Now with an exhalation, we're going to slowly lower our left ear to our left shoulder, letting the head be really heavy. Empty the belly to the bottom and return to your breath. In through the nose, belly, ribs, chest, active through that right arm. As you exhale, squeeze out the belly, relax the head toward the shoulder. Relax the shoulder from the ear. In through the nose again, fill. Telescoping through the spine a bit, and then exhale, reach through the fingertips, press the hand down, drop that left ear to the shoulder. If you're not feeling much of a stretch, see about relaxing your head a little bit more. Take 1 more breath. In through the nose, stretch through the fingers, exhale completely. Now keep your right arm active, and we're going to take our left hand to our left temple and press our head up over our shoulders without activating that neck. Release the left hand down, right hand down. Now pause and take a breath. Good. Notice the effect. And see if you can lift up through the back of your skull, giving the neck and the cervical spine a little space. Good. Now we're going to inhale, left arm out to a T, palm face down. And as you exhale, take the fingertips back about maybe 2-3 inches toward the wall behind you. Notice probably your upper trap clenched up when you did this, right? So we're going to imagine taking that clench in the shoulders, project it through the left arm and press down to clear the neck. Now with an inhale, we're going to again lengthen the spine. Imagine lifting the bottom edge of each vertebra. Good, Ron. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Now all these actions at once, we're going to inhale, feel the breath rise up from the sit bones, through the fingertips to the crown of the head. Exhale, press down with the left hand, drop that right ear to the shoulder. Again, in through the nose. Finding that Ujjayi breath. And working just to the place where the sensation is obvious but not unbearable. And finding center. Squeezing out the belly, activate your core. We're going to bring the right palm up to the right temple and use your hand and your arm to press the head back up over the shoulders and then release the hands down to the lap. How are you feeling, Ron?
Feel
Good. Okay. So we're going to close our eyes here or steady the gaze just so we can neutralize and notice the effect of our work so far. So nice clean inhalation, bringing freshness to the body, and then exhaling, clearing away any debris. So we're going to switch the cross of our legs here for the moment because we've been sitting for a bit and we want to make sure we open both hips evenly. Very good. And then again, settling down into our sit bones so we feel the foundation beneath us, we're going to inhale and float our arms up alongside our ears. And then interlace your palms overhead and flip the palms to the sky. You can let your thumb tips touch in front. Notice if your front body puffed open, right? And see if you can gather your front ribs in, scoop your pubic bone a little bit up, and then feel your side waist lengthen as you press your palms up. Notice if your shoulders came up too. And we're going to try and spread this distance, right? Slide the shoulders back down, soften your elbows, and press the palms to the sky. Now notice if you lost your breath. And we're going to come back to that breath with an inhale. Fill your belly, fill into the side ribs, fill up to the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, empty. Feel the rib cage contract, the belly squeeze to the spine, relax the shoulders. Good. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Imagine you're playing a xylophone up those side ribs with your breath. And then as you exhale, play the xylophone back down the side ribs, squeeze the belly out. One more breath here. Very good. Now we're going to inhale and just gently release the arms. And exhale, just place them down on the lap. Feel the effect on the shoulders, the upper back, and the chest, right? We carry so much tension in the shoulders and the upper back, and it shows up in our posture as a slumping forward, a collapse in the chest. So we're going to start to work through some shoulder congestion here. And keep your gaze focused if your eyes are open, so your eyes don't dart about taking in sensory information, right? We're going to inhale, our arms open to a T, palms face forward. And then as we exhale, we're going to cross our left elbow on top of our right elbow and bring our fingertips around behind us to our scapulae. Now, we're going to inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head, lifting the elbows parallel to the floor. And then exhale, empty your belly. And just feel that stretch in the upper back between the scapulae. Now, some of us are going to stay here. This is enough of a stretch. And we're just going to employ that slow, steady ujjayi breath, audible through the nose and throat. And on the exhalation, maybe even longer and a little more audible, clearing away anything stale. Some of us may want to progress here. We can unravel our hands from behind us and wrap our forearms together. Right fingerprints will be in the left palm. Now, as we inhale, wherever we are, we're going to neutralize our rib cage. So the front ribs level down, lift through the crown. And on our exhale, very gently, we're going to dial our elbows and our gaze toward about 2 o'clock on the clock. Nice, Ron. Stop when your spine says stop, right? Never want to overexert or take yourself to the point of pain. Find a place where you can exist, find your foundation, and breathe smoothly all at the same time. Now on our exhalation, we're going to squeeze out the belly and feel this hint of a twist. Feel the stretch on the left side, in the lats. Good, Ron. Take another big breath. Soften your shoulders down from your ears and squeeze the belly out as you gently peek over your right shoulder. Good. Now we're going to inhale, dial back to 12 o'clock, right to center. And then unravel the arms. As you exhale, just place your palms back down on your lap and see about closing your eyes. And take about 2 neutral breaths so you can feel the effect of this. Good. So on an inhalation, we're going to open our arms out to a T. And as we exhale, take that right elbow on top of left elbow, wrap your fingertips around the scapulae. Now, root into your sit bones, and as you inhale, feel yourself neutralize your rib cage. So your front ribs soften down, and the crown of the head is going to lift up. As you exhale, squeeze out the belly, remembering to use that diaphragm to really empty those lungs. And then if you progress on the other side, you can start to twist your forearms together, left fingerprints in right palm. Now, inhale to lengthen. Take your breath with you. On an exhale, we're just going to take it a little bit to the left. Squeeze out the belly to the very, very bottom. And as you inhale, take your breath into your back body, into that right lat and subscapular muscles. As you exhale, squeeze out the breath. So it's like on the inhale, you're inviting freshness in. Let it inflate that space beneath the skin. And then exhale, bringing out to the core. We're going to use that very shortly. So then inhaling, slowly turn it back to center. And unravel the arms, let the palms rest on the lap. Just take a breath here.
It's really nice shoulder release.
Noticing what's available now that wasn't available before we moved. Good, one more time. Very, very nice. So we're going to shift ourselves forward onto all fours now. If you're sitting on a bolster or a blanket, you can just slide that prop off to the side, and we'll establish ourselves in what we call tabletop pose in yoga. So our wrists will be right underneath our shoulders with our palms spread very, very wide, so there's space between every finger. And your knees are going to be right underneath your hips to protect the low back. Toes will tuck under so you have foundation beneath those toe tips. Now, with an inhalation, we're going to spin our sit bones up, drop our belly down, open our chest forward, and lift the crown of the head to the sky, just mobilizing a little. Yours might not look like mine, and that's totally fine. Exhale, scoop your pubic bone to your belly button as you round your spine, press through the palms, look up at the belly. Wrap your back body around to the front. Go slow. Inhale, lift your sit bones, drop your belly, open your chest, reach up through your crown, slide your shoulders down from your ears, and then exhale, round again. Squeezing the belly out. Empty the breath through the nose. Inhale, lift your tail. Open your chest. Nice, Ron. Exhale, round the spine.
It's such great relief in the spine. Oh.
And the slower you move, and the more you unite with your breath as you move, the more you start to inhabit all the little nooks and crannies that couldn't move before you started working with your breath. Take your time. The inhalations fill the front body. The exhalations stretch the back body. Just one more here. Good. And then exhale, round. So we're going to untuck our feet, bring our spine to neutral, widen our knees, and then ease ourselves back toward a child's pose. Good. So if this is uncomfortable for anyone, right, you could pad up with a blanket underneath your shins. If the floor is too far away for your head, grab one of those blocks, Ron. You could either bring your palms together, elbows wide, and place your head down on that pedestal, or like Ron is demonstrating, we'll bring a block underneath the forehead to bring the floor up to us, right? And then the arms can come long, and the head can lower down. And we're going to focus on our breath again. See if you can drop all your bones to the ground. And then take a long, slow inhalation. All the way out to the skin. And exhale through the nose. Emptying all the way to the bottom of the belly. In through the nose. Fill the whole backside with breath, and then out through the nose. Drop the bones, relax the jaw. So continue with your Ujjayi breath, right? Remembering to find that slight constriction in the base of the throat. And remember, this shape is a posture of neutrality. Remember, one where you can come to rest at any point throughout the practice, that the intensity becomes too great, you find yourself lost in a thought, or just can't find the thread back to your breath. Here's where you'll come and settle down. You can meet us wherever we are.
Nicole, I have a question.
Sure.
What if you have a little bit of discomfort in like your hips as we're sitting back? Is there any way to sort of adjust that, or would you just recommend?
Totally. You could lessen the flexion in the hips by either taking a blanket behind the knees and calves so that you have something to sit down on. You could, where in the hips is it bothering you? The outer hips.
Yeah, outer hips.
I would say that that's just a matter of letting it stretch, honestly. As long as it's not intense pain, breathe into that. And then breathe out of that. Seeing if as you breathe out, you can just let that sensation kind of unravel and be bearable. This is where the work really starts, right? Is where we find the sensation that maybe is not the most comfortable. So long as it doesn't feel injurious we kind of ride that sensation to see if we can unravel it a bit. And this is where we start to get like deeper in our practice, right? Where we develop self-awareness and notice the ways that we kind of wrap around what's uncomfortable and contain it rather than allowing it to release out. So one more breath here, nice run, and then exhale, sigh all the way out. Good. Now we're going to inhale and bring ourselves up onto all fours. Again, tabletop pose. And again, root the toes so that we have access to our foundation. Now notice, as you root your toes down and press back with the balls of your feet, can you feel some action in your core if you draw your front body to your spine? Yeah. Now, we're going to keep that active and find our breath again with our gaze steady on the floor so our mind doesn't wander. And with an inhalation, we're just going to extend our left leg straight back. We're going to keep the toes on the floor for now and press back into that left heel with all of the toes pointing to the floor so we feel that ignition in the left inner thigh. Now press down into the hands. Again, activate the core and inhale through the crown so you feel cohesive here. You can feel your quadricep pulling into your belly muscles. Now, if it's okay for you, you're going to see about inhaling to float the left heel up in line with the sit bone, but you're going to keep that core engagement. Activate your breath. Breathe, long breath in.
Wow.
Reach all the way through the heel, through the ball of the foot, through the crown, and then exhale, squeeze out your belly. Pressing down into what's touching the ground so that you can gather back more into your center so that you can then inhale, extend a little more fully out. Good. Now maybe you're going to inhale your right arm up alongside your right ear. And you're going to continue that breath from heel to fingertips, and the exhale, squeezing the belly to the spine. Good. Feel that heat build. Take one more breath. And on the exhale, we're going to release the right hand down, lower the left knee, tuck the toes, and just round the spine again. Press through the hands, press through the toes. Inhale, lift your sit bones, drop your belly. Let the breath rush into your front body. Lift your gaze. Good. Exhale, round. Using the breath to clear you out. Inhale, lift the tail. Drop the belly, open the chest. And exhale, round. Now come to neutral spine. Untuck your feet and go ahead, ease back again to that child's pose. Make your knees a little bit wider if you can, which might also help with that tension in the hips, and you can grab that block if you need it. Maybe noticing that you need a little less height now that you've started to open your body to your breath. Drop your elbows, drop your skull, take one more breath, and let it wash out. And then inhale back up to all fours so we can even out.
You know, I've done that before, but without engaging my core like that, it's a lot harder to lift the legs.
Totally. So if you're lifting from your low back and thinking of just lifting the extremity, oftentimes you lose that connection to the center, which if you lift from your belly and extend fully through, you can kind of snug all the muscles to the bone and inhabit that entire action instead of being in just one limb.
That's great.
Yeah, cool. So as you're ready, inhale, right toe tips back, foot is flexed, press through the heel. And just for now, focus on like toes to the floor, reach back through your calf and through your quadricep. And then as you inhale, again, gather that front body in, breathe into the back body as you lengthen, feel that strength. And exhale here. Really good. Feel especially like the mounds of the index fingers pressing down so you can draw the shoulders back from the ears a bit. And then if you can do so, we're going to inhale, right leg up. Make sure those toes still point to the floor and the inner thigh ignites. Find your Ujjayi breath, steady gaze. If the gaze darts around, the eyes immediately pick up that external stimuli. And then inhale left arm if you can. And then the thoughts start to pull the senses out of the moment. But if we can steady our gaze and draw our senses into what's going on internally, then we're able to calibrate ourselves to be present to what's actually happening, which right now is a lot of little shifts to manage this balance. And as you exhale, you can lower the left hand down, toes to the floor, round your spine. Squeeze it out. Good. Inhale, lift your sit bones, drop your belly, open your chest, lift your crown high. And then exhale, round. 2 more times. So this is cow pose. Exhale, round. Cat pose. Wrap your back body around to your midline. Inhale, cow pose. Thread your pubic bone through so you feel your inner thigh stretch. Reach your head up high. Exhale, round. Squeeze it out. Now we're going to inhale to neutral spine. Untuck the feet and go ahead, ease back, child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch. Yeah. And let yourself drop.
It's easier every time.
Yep, exactly. It's like digging your way out of a tunnel 1 teaspoonful at a time. Take another breath here. And exhale, clear out. Very good. 1 more. Very good. So as you're ready, you're going to walk your hands back and lift your head up. And I'm just going to check in with you. How you doing over there?
Feeling good.
Good. Okay. So we're going to come up to stand now. And the easiest way to do this is to tuck our toes behind us and just walk ourselves up. If you need to use your hands on your legs, that's totally fine. Okay. So make sure you have your yoga blocks handy. We have ours at the top of our mat. We're going to walk ourselves up to the top and just come to simple standing. So simple standing pose, mountain pose in yoga is called Tadasana. And we're basically going to align ourselves posturally with the ground, right? Starting at our foundation. So you're going to feel your way down into your feet and spread out your toes so that you can feel the balls of your big toes, balls of your pinky toes, your outer heel, and your inner heel. Then you're going to press all 4 of those points at the same time, not to a point of rigidity, right? Relax those toes down. So you feel yourself almost balanced and probably shifting ever so slightly from side to side as the body seeks center. I'll give you a hint. If you steady your gaze, your eyes are closed, totally cool, direct your gaze to the center of the forehead. If your eyes are open, direct your gaze forward and down. You'll notice if you got lost in the instruction and lost your breath. Add your breath to this, in through the nose, out through the nose. Gather your navel towards your spine, root through those 4 points, in through the nose, and out through the nose. So imagining that those points that you just grounded are like plug-in points to the earth, and you've pushed your way down into this energetic outlet. And you're receiving with your breath this energy all the way up through the legs, through the channel of the spine to the brain. And on the exhalation, you feel yourself empty and ground all the way again through the feet, navel to spine. Good. So we're going to inhale and bring our arms forward and up alongside the ears. If your shoulders came with, be sure to draw them down. And on our exhalation, we're going to hinge from our hips, keeping our knees soft. And we're either going to bring our hands just to our shins or to our yoga blocks on whatever height we need. Now remember, these blocks work on 3 heights, right? We've got tall height, medium, low, and you can always improvise the shins if need be, right? So I would say maybe even bring your hands onto your shins or your knees for me. Now feel the weight in your bottom, and with an inhale, you're just going to stretch your chest forward. Does that feel okay on your spine?
Yeah.
Good. Now, with an exhalation, you're not going to do anything else. You're just going to squeeze out your belly. Good. Take another breath here, reaching the crown of the head out of the tail. Does that feel like a little bit of a stretch on the spine?
Yeah.
Nice. And then exhale, squeeze out your belly. And so here, you're working with your core again, just like in that bird dog pose where you're extended on all 4s. Inhale, fill, lengthen your spine. This is called Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, squeeze out your belly. Good. Soften your knees even more. We're gonna bring our hands to our blocks for stability. And inhale to extend the left leg back, extend it in line with the spine. Now pivot those left toes toward the floor, spread through the toes, and do just like you did on all fours, where you squeeze out your belly and gather your thigh in. Now lift your chest forward. Very, very nice. How's it feel? A lot, right? Squeeze out your belly. And then we're gonna lower our left toe tips to the floor. Spin our left heel down in line with our right heel. And then inhale our arms up alongside the ears for warrior one. Good. So ground down into your feet. See if you can identify those 4 points again. And try to keep this right knee stacked right on top of this right ankle, not in front of it, not behind it, right? Right on top so you feel the calf and the quads working. Now drag your right heel toward the left inner arch a little bit. Relax your toes. Relax your toes. Yes. Drag the heel back and then inhale through the side waist. Steady gaze, breathe, run. One more time. And on the exhale, we're just gonna bring our hands down to our blocks. How you doing? All right, inhale, step the back foot forward, lengthen. And on your exhale, see about folding, but bend your knees a little bit, belly to thighs. Does that feel okay? Okay. Inhale, lengthen halfway out. Stretch the chest forward, and on the exhale, right leg back. Keep it lifted up, turn those toes down, and pivot that right inner thigh to the sky. Nice. So just like when we were on all fours in tabletop, and we extended our opposite arms and legs, we're going to wrap this right inner thigh to the sky, draw the femur bone into the pelvis, and at the same time, reach through the ball of the big toe so we feel our psoas engaged. Now inhale, lengthen through the spine like you're parallel to the floor. You got it, Ron. Breathe, squeeze out your belly. Awesome, one more. And then exhale, slowly lower your right toe tips down. Good. Spin your right heel in line with your left heel. And then inhale, arms up. So if this is too much, right, for anyone, you could keep your hands on your blocks. You could bring your left hand onto your left thigh and then use your thigh to bring that right arm up. Doesn't matter, as long as you do both sides, if you don't ever bring this left hand up as well. Take another breath here. Awesome, run. Exhale. Steady your gaze. Notice when the mind interferes or an emotion rushes to the surface, and see if you can steady yourself on your feet, anchor your gaze, and use your breath to stay present despite the turbulence. On an exhalation, we're going to bring our hands down to our blocks. Awesome job. And inhale, step it back forward, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Only folding as far as feels good. And then inhale, lengthen out halfway. And exhale, hands to hips. Elbows back, squeeze out the belly like a chicken pecking grain, right? Elbows back, lift your chest. Soften your knees even more, squeeze out your belly, run. And we're gonna use our core to lift the pelvic floor. And on the inhale, rise ourselves up to stand. Tadasana. Take a big breath in and out. And so feel yourself standing on the earth in your body. You feeling warm? You feeling steady?
You know, I think what's great is my mind is always racing. And so when we're doing some of these things that are a little more difficult, I'm able to focus in, like you said, on my breathing, my gaze.
It's the most important thing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's really helpful.
Those two elements, actually there are three, right? So when we're talking about balance and presence, we're looking to find ourselves grounded in our foundation. Foundation is key to stability in any structure, right? Steady gaze is going to keep your senses from pulling you all over the place. They're going to keep you really centered in your body. And then your breath, which is connection to everything around you. So it's like, as you're practicing yoga, you're warming your body, you're making yourself really strong, but you're also putting yourself in this really symbiotic relationship with the space around you, including all of the life in it. So I'm going to turn up the heat a teeny bit, just a teeny bit. So check that your heels are right underneath your sit bones. And Tadasana, remember, is also a posture, right? So we're looking for like an open channel for energy from ground to brain. Now with an inhalation, we're going to bend our knees and bring our arms up alongside our ears. Like we're going to sit down in a chair, but we're holding something up away from the ground that we don't want to touch down. Now our gaze is going to be forward and downward so that we're not cricking up our neck. And on an exhalation, I'm going to talk a lot through this. You can come out of it as many times as you need to, meet me back in it. We're going to sit back and down like we fully anticipate a seat. Gather our sit bones toward each other. So now we'll feel our hamstrings, our quadriceps, our glutes, and our core all engaged, right? Draw the belly of the spine, take the breath to the fingertips. Exhale here, squeeze it out, take one more breath, and we're gonna exhale, press up to stand.
It's hard to remember to breathe.
It is hard to remember to breathe. And so in those moments, this is the real practice, right? It's almost as if these postures are intended to be situations that we find ourselves in life, challenging situations where we're like right now taking a warrior pose and trying to find a steady breath and a steady gaze and our wits about us, our presence in this. But in real life, that could equate to being in a difficult moment with someone and being able to take the pause and not react.
Finding presence again.
So you can respond appropriately and intelligently to life as it presents itself.
So good.
Yeah. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, arms come up. And this time as we exhale, we're going to see if we can sit a little bit deeper without collapsing in the chest. Squeeze out the belly. Your back doing okay? Awesome. Big breath in here. And then on the exhalation, you're just going to take your hands down to your blocks. And we're going to take it down to the ground, but I'm going to help you get there. We're going to lower our knees to the floor. Press our ankles behind us. Use your blocks if you have to. Just come on back to sit. Good.
Nice.
Graceful. Okay. We'll see if you're saying nice in a second. So we're going to bring our feet in front of us. And we're going to work one more time with our center, right? As I said, when we find ourselves established in our core, it's as if we're cultivating the ability to draw into ourselves in order that we can expand more fully out in all directions, right? So we're going to start simple. You guys at home, take it easy. Easy does it, right? One thing I want to say is if you start to notice that you're rounding into your back and collapsing into your chest when we take this pose, stop and come back to the last place that your breath was clear and accessible, which might be here, right? And there's no issue with that at all. So we're going to inhale, lift the chest, lengthen through the crown, squeeze out the belly. Now, staying perched on the sit bones, we're going to see about lifting up the feet, just about shins parallel to the floor. It helps if you squeeze your big toe mounds together so that, so you get the center line of the thighs. You got it. And lift your chest. Now, breathe. Exhale out of your mouth. Go. Squeeze your belly all the way out. Now lengthen your spine. Breathe in. Out through the nose. Now, if you can, maybe you're going to see about straightening those legs. Don't force anything. Maybe you're going to let go with your hands. Don't force anything. I'm drawing into center. And breathing out. Anything in my way. One more breath. And then we're going to exhale. Cross our ankles. Whew. Boat pose is no joke. If that was too hard, it's totally fine if you collapsed on your back. Breath.
I think for me it's the stability in the spine.
Totally. But again, developing this core is going to strengthen that lumbar spine. So we can neutralize that a little bit. Let's bring our hands onto our blocks. Ankles crossed. And imagine there's a zip tie around your ankles so they can't come apart. We're going to press our hands into the blocks and inhale. Just lift our bottom. Lift our crown. Now as you exhale, let the weight of your pelvis drop. Squeeze out your belly. Keep your arms strong if you can. Inhale. And then exhale, go ahead, lower. Little reset for that lumbar. Cool. So we're going to come to lie down. Make sure you have your blocks handy, perhaps a strap handy if you find that your hamstrings tend to be on the tighter side. We're going to ease ourselves down onto our backs. Feels good, right? So step the feet as wide as your mat and just knock your knees in for a moment. You can let your arms flop out to the sides with the palms face up. And just let your bones drop. Yeah, let your breath come in waves. And you ride those waves with your attention. Good. One more. Very, very good. So we're going to step our feet now to hip width so that the heels are in line with the sit bones. But see about creeping your heels as close to your bum as you can get them so that when we rise up into our bridge pose, imagine your ankles will be under the backs of your knees. We're going to bring our triceps alongside our side ribs with our palms just kind of like, almost like robot hands over us. With our triceps pressing down and our heels pressing down, we're just going to inhale, lift up our hips in line with our knees. And then exhale, pressing into the elbows, slowly lower back down. Good. 2 more times. Press into the triceps, inhale, lift. Keep your gaze on the ceiling, don't wander the eyes. Exhale, slowly lower. Good. Almost like reverse cat-cows. Press into the heels, inhale, lift. Now hold this one for a second. As you exhale, press your heels forward and imagine your tailbone coming up in between your knees. And then pressing into the triceps and the heels at once. Inhale, fill up your front body. Chest toward chin, not chin toward chest. And then exhale, slowly lower from bridge pose. Good. How's the back doing? Awesome. So one more time, we're going to step the feet wide, knock the knees in, just a counter pose. That spinal articulation. Take a breath. And let it go. Good. So left leg long, heel in line with sit bone. So just like that standing pose, Tadasana on the left side, everything aligned and neutral. We're going to inhale the right thigh into the belly, interlace our hands in front of our right shin, and notice if as you did this, your chest and your chin and your shoulders crunched up. See if you can let yourself drop back. Here's where this strap can come in handy. If you're not able to access this, you could take the strap over your shin and give yourself as much strap as you need for your shoulders to be able to relax back. Now, active through the left leg, we're going to inhale, fill up all the way through the crown. Exhale, pull this right thigh to the belly, but simultaneously kick the right shin into the hands. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, swivel the right outer hip a little bit away from the side waist. Kick the shin into the hands, squeeze out the belly. Maintain all of these actions at once while practicing Ujjayi breath. Relax your shoulders. Kick the shin. One more breath. Good. And then we're going to relax and step the right foot to the floor. Now locate a block and we're going to align it on our left side, remembering that these blocks work on several different heights. In line with the left hip is a good idea, more or less, maybe a little lower than the hip. We're going to press down into the left heel so that we can pick up our hips and turn our pelvis onto the left outer hip. Our right knee is going to come with us. Keep your right shoulder blade grounded as you take your right shin and place it on your block. Whatever height is necessary. You could use 2 blocks if you need. You could turn it up 1 more notch if you need. But we want to make sure that the right shoulder blade is touching the ground. And then we're going to bring our arms out either straight out to a T or like football goalposts with the palms face up. So, outer edge of the left foot is pressing to the floor, and we're going to inhale to lengthen all the way up through the crown of the head, looking for that same alignment as Tadasana. Nice breath out. On the exhalation, squeeze out your belly. And let your bones fall to the ground, squeezing out the organs. Now as you inhale, fresh breath comes in, oxygenates all those organs and muscles, fill up, and then exhale, ring out. So like a squeeze out, and then a fresh soak in, lengthen to receive it. Exhale, empty. Very, very good. Now we're going to inhale and bring our right foot back over to the right outer edge of our mat. Press down into the heel to pick up the hips and turn your left hip point back up. Now let's check in. I'm going to slide the right leg on. And just pause to feel the effect. One side will feel very different than the other, but don't worry, I won't leave you like that. Good. So, right leg comes heel in line with sit bone, then the left thigh and hug in. And again, guys at home, use your strap if necessary so that your back body is relaxed to the ground. Reach through the right heel so you feel your right hamstring kind of like pressing toward the ground. And then as you inhale, breathe through the entire shape. As you exhale, pull the left thigh a little closer, kick the shin into the hands, pull back with the hands, but keep the shoulders relaxed. And see about gliding your left outer hip away from the side waist. Like this, we activate the psoas. We make sure we're not compensating by scrunching up the waist because of tight hips. Now, inhale to lengthen through the whole body, kicking that shin like you're holding open a screen door for a breeze to come through. Exhale, squeeze out. Right? Trusting that all the debris goes, the good stuff stays. Big breath in. And your left foot can come to the floor. Now again, we're going to make sure we set ourselves up for success here. Meet yourself on the right side with your block. Press your right heel down to pick up the hips and turn to the outer edge of the right foot. So the right pinky toe is going to come to the floor too. Nice. Left shoulder blade to the floor. You could even bring the arm out to the side at first to give it some weight. And then we're going to cross this left thigh on whatever height is necessary over to the right side of the mat. Is that good or bad? Oh, good. SI. The SI popped. So, inhale and imagine lifting your head out of your heel, Ron. So rather than letting your head dip to the right, roll the weight back to center. Reach through the right leg. Inhale to lengthen. Even feel like you could gently level your hips, like left side waist lengthens as you reach through the crown. And then exhale, empty out. Deep squeeze on the organs. Drop the bone. And then a fresh breeze comes in, saturating every cell. And then breathe out. One more breath. And then inhale, left leg to the left outer edge of the mat. Press into the heel to pick up the hips, turn them even, and then extend that left leg. And just pause. Ooh, feel that effect. The cool breeze coming up from the toe tips. Good. So, last pose. You made it almost all the way through. Easy does it. We're just going to hug the thighs in Apanasana, and you can give yourself a squeeze here. Anything that feels good. Honestly, let organic movement take over. You might want to rock from side to side, or stretch out your legs, or lift your head towards your knees. Whatever feels right, and whatever feels neutral. So if you do something asymmetrical at home, make sure you even out by doing the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to lower our feet to the floor. Slide our legs out long and wide. And let our palms come out to the sides. Flop the arms so that the palms are face up. Now, give a little press into the back of your head just so you can scoop up your chest and slide your scapulae down away from the back of your neck. Yeah. And then as the body comes back down, let your bones settle and the breath kind of just dissolve out into the ether. So you relinquish control. And let your eyes close if you feel safe doing so. And if you find this challenging, you're not alone. Shavasana or corpse pose is one of the most difficult for some. So do what you can in terms of leveling out. If you feel a sense of vulnerability, you could take a weighted blanket and place it over your torso just to give you some security. And then see if you can let your skull just completely drop to the ground like a magnet. or a boulder. And let the skin of the face melt as if drizzling down toward the earlobes. So you feel space between the brows, softness, maybe even a part of the lips. Relax your tongue, and relax the tongue all the way down the length of the throat. Relax the back of the neck. Drop the shoulder blades. And feel your heart center kind of radiating out down through the fingers. It's like the arms are two tributaries streaming off from the center. Drop the rib cage. And release every vertebra of the spine. Like dropping pebbles to the bottom of the lake. Relax your belly and all of its organs. Drop your sacrum. And from your hip sockets, relax all the way down the length of the legs, over the bumps of the knees, down across the shins, and tips of the toes. And see if you can feel the pull of gravity, drawing tension, anything that remains out of the body. So if you've wandered off, bring your attention back to your body and feel yourself like the brightest light filling all the way out to the very pores of your skin. And direct that brightness to your fingers and toes. You can start to find little movements in the hands and feet. You can let your breath deepen as it wants to. Inhale the arms up overhead and slide the inner thighs together. You can stretch all the way from fingertip to toe tip. And then exhaling, bring your feet to the ground, feel the earth beneath them. Pick up your hips and roll over onto the right side in a little fetal pose. And really let yourself rest here, like you're giving yourself full permission to start fresh. And then with the left palm, go down into the ground. We're just going to press down to bring ourselves up to a simple cross-legged seat. Eyes closed if you can, to keep your attention tucked inside. And just take a moment to assess the effect of your practice, what has shifted since you first sat down today. And as you're ready, you can blink your eyes open and find yourself in time and space. How are you feeling? Oh, good.
Well, that was a fantastic practice. Thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you to the Apothecarium and Alera for putting this on. Look, it does not have to look perfect. It's a practice. Just keep showing up and trying new things, and you may find benefit for yourself. If you'd like to find out more about veterans in the Pennsylvania area, we are at balancedveterans.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Ron. And if you guys enjoyed the practice at home, you can definitely tune in. I have virtual classes at pacificyogaphilly.com. Thanks so much, Apothecarium. Thanks you guys at home. Namaste.